Misty Kerrigan, Unveil Your Brilliance.
Kimberly, fellow and a great esteemed qualified speakers. We're very honored to be here tonight, and I just want to say thank you. Tonight, I want to jump on this bandwagon of the imposter syndrome and the change the script. Lena and Cindy, you guys are amazing. I was not crying a little bit over here or getting excited about having a dream. So I want to jump into something amazing. How many of you guys know that we were designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with seeds of greatness, not seeds of averageness or mediocre, right? We have seeds of greatness in us. How many of you guys know that? Well, this is an easy crowd to convince because it's a Wednesday night and you spend 3 hours a week every Wednesday getting better in what you do and hitting your passions, I bet. But sadly, some people let things dormant, that greatness. They hide their seeds, whether it's time, life, money, focus. Lately, like over the last few years, 2020, we put these things in front of our greatness and we start to pack them down and pack them down. And pretty soon, some of us don't remember that we have seeds of greatness and we kind of just start doing life. I don't know if anyone else, I know I can admit I sometimes get caught up in that where life is just life. And someone told me that the other day. I thought it was brilliant. Life is just life. And so what happens when we pack out our seeds and we go dormant? Well, unfortunately, I think Les Brown really nailed it when he said there's no more richer place on earth than the graveyard. Songs that haven't been written, cures that haven't been discovered, inventions that we need. Is because if we take our seeds and we bury them, we get buried with them. So what do we need to do about that? Well, how many of you know it just takes a spark? And sometimes we walk around and we're like, I want to be motivated, I want to be inspired. Well, the greatest part is that inspiration just means at the root of the word to breathe life back into. To breathe life back into. Because for a lot of you guys, we forgot it's still there. It's still there. And if we're not in the ground and we're still here and just breathing this air, it's still there. What do we do? What do we do with it? How do we get that spark back? Well, the coolest part is the same thing that might be holding your seeds of greatness back is the same thing that could spark them out and share them with the world. And it is a formula. So the formula is this. So before I explain what the formula is, if it's okay with you guys, I want to take a few seconds, a couple slides, and just let you know, who am I? Who is Misty Kerrigan? Well, I was very, very lucky. At birth, I was adopted by my grandparents. And my grandfather thought I hung the moon. He had 6 other kids before me. I don't know if anyone else is in here the favorite of the family, but I got to grow up being the favorite. And unless you're the favorite, it's hard probably to grasp how amazing it feels to be the favorite. But he told me I could do anything, and I believed him. So in 4th grade, I went pre-med. I wanted to be a doctor. I knew it from 4th grade on. I knew I wanted to be a doctor, a medical doctor, and I wanted to be a pediatrician up until my freshman year of college. And then I realized in a split second after the first course where there was a cadaver and smells is that I was never going to be a medical doctor. And as fast as I could, I ran across campus right into the psychology building, never looking back. So anyone here in the medical profession, thank you. Thank you for staying. Thank you for staying after that first class. So I graduated with a psychology degree from University of Arizona, and I moved straight to California with some friends because I was going to live by the ocean and have an amazing life. Well, unfortunately, about 2 years after I graduated college and I was not living by the ocean, I was 25 years old and sleeping on a bunk bed with a fellow roommate in a 2-bedroom house with 4 of us. I was so poor that I wasn't living check to check. I was living 3 checks behind. I would go to those check cashing places and borrow money and go borrow money and borrow money. Michael knows. Michael, thank you. I see your face is making me excited. I lived 3 checks behind, and I started to eat a lot of more ramen like I was in college, and I started to let self-doubt build in, and I started to think my grandpa was full of crap. that life wasn't what you make it, and you couldn't do the things, because thought I was working pretty hard. I had 3 jobs. I was working 3 jobs. It wasn't that I was scared to work. I was working 3 jobs and still not making the money I needed to make. Well, I did what anyone does when they can't sleep. I was watching infomercials. And this infomercial came on in the middle of the night, and this man came on, and he was exciting. And he was telling me about life and dreams and how we could still have anything we wanted. The only problem was he cost $300 and I didn't have that. But my grandpa was still alive back then. I was blessed that he stayed with me until I was 30. But at age 25, he got my early Christmas present in September, and I changed my entire life from these. I don't know if there's any younger generations in here, but these are CDs. They don't have those anymore. We can even play them in your car. I still have them, but it changed my life. And I went back to where I work. I've been at Oak Grove Center for 23 years, and I started being more excited. I started working better with the kids. I started working better with the staff. They started promoting me in leadership. I started writing books and creating these amazing programs that 10 years in a row, we're the highest independent living skills program for foster youth, 16 to 21 in the state of California. We are one of the most successful wraparound programs. I started directing. I got a job for UC Davis. I consult with UC Davis, and I train every state in the state of California. I write programs and curriculum, and I get to go in and I get to train individuals. My life took off after that CD set, and life just started to get better. And all these things I thought, get greater clarity and focus and a deeper understanding of behaviors and psychology and needs. Would they work in the business world? Because they sure worked in the mental health world. And I accidentally taught a dog walker how to make 6 figures. She went to a 6-figure sustainable with just the stuff that I learned doing the stuff that I loved. And all of a sudden I realized I want to speak, and I want to work with more business owners, and I want to teach this to the world. And then 5 years later, I have my own podcast with Miss Kimberly Smith. We wrote a book. I'm on stages with Sharon Lecter, Victor Marcanson, Mr. Les Brown himself. Mary Glorfield was Tony Robbins' VP for 18 years. She's in my cell phone. I still haven't met Tony yet, but that's still here coming. But the thing is that my life went from ramen to amazement. And I was thinking, how? How do you go from 3 paychecks behind to bank accounts, plural? And I realized it was this. Passion plus purpose times your beliefs, that where you spend your time and who you associate with becomes your life. Your life is made up of this. And it hit me. The things we believe to be true, we create ourselves. The things we believe to be true, we create ourselves. Cindy and Elena, you guys just talked about it very, very beautifully. And I want to say, I thought about that at age 25. And I said, if this is true, if I believe anything and that becomes true, then this is the only thing I'm going to believe. I'm going to read this twice a day. I bought a ring, and it's engraved in the ring. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, the plans to prosper and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. God wants me to prosper. For I know the plans I have for you. When life gets rough, I pull this out again. When life's amazing, I pull this out again. But this became my core belief in my life. And as that started to take effect, I understood the 3 steps. So I'm going to give you guys the 3 steps tonight, so that if some of you already have these steps, and if you don't, here's the time to grab a pen and really get it. Understanding your purpose. Define what your purpose means and why it's essential. What is your purpose? Where do you feel most alive? I believe God gave each of us divine gifts, but those divine gifts aren't for us. Those divine gifts are for the world. And when you have those divine gifts and you're sharing them with the world, in God's divine plan, you're unstoppable. I think I accidentally did it. I didn't know I was doing that, but when it started to hit, like the rainstorm became the hurricane because my life was taking off so fast, I think it's because I started to share my divine gifts. And when I started to share my divine gifts, I've never been more passionate. I remember watching Kimberly give a speech at a conference, and she was dancing around on the stage, and she made us do push-ups. And I said, woof, that lady's passionate, and I want to be around more passionate people. I have enough people in my life who are not passionate. I want to get around more passionate people, because when you're passionate about life is amazing. It does feel like work every once in a while, but when you're on stages, when you're sitting in these seats for 3 hours, or when you get to learn about where to set your knife, or when someone doesn't steal your bread, that stuff's exciting. Now, there's people out there who won't believe us, but that's okay, because we know we were here tonight. We know because we're passionate about speaking. We're passionate about others speaking. We're passionate about helping them become better. When you're living in that, it just automatically starts to hit the next thing, which is your patience. You have to be patient. It's not your time, it's God's time. And it's just about being consistent. It's about coming to these things, being in Toastmasters, saying yes when someone wants you to speak, coming virtual, speaking in person, staying consistent and focusing on the things you can control. And I want to tell you something. If you have your purpose and your passion aligned, you plus God are the majority. You and God, that's a majority. Everyone else in your life doesn't matter. You're the majority. So when you have your purpose and your passion and you feel it and you know it, it's those baby steps. Sometimes you might get knocked down, but I guarantee you with passion, you get back up. And I love how someone said, I wake up at 8 a.m. and wonder how many miles Kimberly's already ran. Well, that's passion. And it's consistency, because sometimes I know she doesn't want to get up and run, but I know passionately and consistently, it's our purpose to continue to run. And when you align your passion and your purpose and you're really patient with it, the best thing happens. We let our light shine and we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same when we do it. But you know what they don't tell you? I'm going to leave you with something I had to learn the hard way. And I wish they would have told me this like in junior high. When I go and I do talks in front of kids, I tell them, because I wish someone would have told me, here's the thing. When your light's shining bright and you get around others' lights who are shining bright, you become blinding. The light is blinding when you get around other people whose light shine just as bright. Over these last few years, my life has been nothing but phenomenal. I get to travel, I get to train, and you can't, if you came to 20, when I was 25 and you said, Misty, you're going to be on yachts and jets and people are going to pay you money to speak. Every report card I had said I talk too much. Every report card said I talk too much. And now I'm in my 40s and people call me and they want to pay me to come talk. It's because I aligned my purpose with my passion. I dedicated my time and I got around other people's whose lights were blinding so that mine would do the same. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for having us here tonight. And I am so excited because I know most of you in here and I know your lights shine bright. So I would like to return the power back over to Ms. Kimberly Smith Austin.